Stop gray hair naturally. The 8 hidden nutrients. You're not getting gray hair does not usually start with age. It starts with a pause, a slowdown deep inside the hair follicle where pigment cells quietly stop working at full strength. One strand changes color, then another, and suddenly it feels like it happened overnight. Most people are told this is unavoidable, that it is locked in by genetics, and there is nothing to think about beyond covering it up. But human biology is rarely that simple. Hair color is not just a clock ticking down. It is a reflection of how well certain systems in the body are being supported over time. Long before modern nutrition labels and supplements existed, ancient medical traditions noticed something interesting. When the body was undernourished or imbalanced, hair changed early. Not because hair was important, but because it was sensitive. Today, science understands that pigment production depends on nutrients, oxygen, enzymes, and protection from cellular stress. When even one of these pieces weakens, hair color is often one of the first visible signs. What follows is not a miracle cure, but a deeper look at what the body needs to maintain pigment and why so many people unknowingly fall short. Vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 sits at the center of energy production and nerve health, but its relationship with hair color is often ignored. Pigment-producing cells in hair follicles divide rapidly and require constant oxygen delivery. B12 supports red blood cell formation, which directly affects how much oxygen reaches those cells. When levels drop, the body does not shut down immediately. Instead, it quietly reallocates resources. Hair pigment becomes optional. This is why premature graying is commonly seen in people with low or borderline B12 levels, even when they feel otherwise normal. The challenge is that deficiency can develop slowly, especially in people with limited animal-based foods or absorption issues, making hair one of the earliest places the shortage shows up. Copper plays a surprisingly direct role in hair color. It activates enzymes involved in melanin production, the pigment responsible for natural hair shade. Without enough copper, melanin synthesis slows down, and new hair grows in lighter or gray. What makes copper tricky is balance. It is needed in small amounts, but modern diets often unintentionally reduce intake by focusing on refined foods. Over time, this creates a subtle deficiency that does not cause pain or obvious illness, but gradually affects pigment stability. Hair follicles rely on copper more than many other tissues, which is why color changes can appear before anything else feels wrong. Iron is often discussed in terms of fatigue, but its role in hair health goes much deeper. Iron helps carry oxygen throughout the body, and pigment cells are especially sensitive to oxygen supply. When iron levels dip, the body prioritizes vital organs. Hair follicles continue growing, but pigment production weakens. This results in dullness, thinning, or premature graying over time. What makes iron-related changes hard to catch is that levels do not need to be severely low to affect hair. Even long-term borderline levels can slowly impact pigment cells without triggering obvious symptoms. Zinc supports hundreds of enzymatic reactions in the body, including those involved in DNA repair and cell regeneration. Hair follicles are among the most active tissues, constantly growing and renewing. Zinc helps maintain the structure of hair and protects pigment-producing cells from early breakdown. When zinc is low, hair becomes more vulnerable to stress, and pigment cells lose resilience. Stress, poor absorption, and unbalanced diets can all reduce zinc availability. Hair changes linked to zinc imbalance often appear gradually, making it easy to miss the connection. Vitamin D. Vitamin D functions more like a hormone than a traditional vitamin. Hair follicles contain vitamin D receptors, which means they actively rely on it to regulate growth cycles. When vitamin D is low, follicle activity slows and pigment maintenance weakens. Research has linked low vitamin D levels to various hair changes, including premature graying. Modern indoor lifestyles, limited sun exposure, and inconsistent intake make deficiency common. Hair color fading can be one of the subtle signals that the body is not getting enough of this regulatory nutrient. folate, support cell division and tissue renewal, both of which are critical for hair growth. Pigment cells must replicate efficiently to maintain consistent color. When folate is low, new hair may form with weaker pigment structure. Folate works closely with vitamin B12, and imbalance between the two can amplify hair changes. Even when folate intake appears adequate, absorption and consistency matter. Hair follicles, due to their rapid turnover, are often the first place where disruptions become visible. Antioxidants. Oxidative stress is one of the strongest drivers of premature graying. Free radicals damage pigment-producing cells over time, reducing their ability to function. Antioxidants neutralize this damage and protect follicle health. Vitamins like C and E, along with plant-based compounds, help slow pigment cell exhaustion. Modern life increases oxidative stress through poor sleep, chronic stress, and processed foods. Without sufficient antioxidant support, pigment cells age faster than they should, leading to gradual loss of color. Protein and amino acids. Hair is primarily made of protein, and pigment production depends on specific amino acids. Tyrosine, for example, is a direct building block of melanin. When protein intake is too low or poorly balanced, the body prioritizes essential functions over hair quality. Pigment production becomes inconsistent. This does not require extreme dieting. Even mild long-term protein gaps can affect hair color stability. Hair follicles respond quickly to internal shortages, often before other tissues show signs. The role of stress management in maintaining hair color. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to the body's stress levels. Cortisol, the stress hormone, does more than make you anxious or affect sleep. It directly impacts pigment cells in hair. Chronic stress accelerates oxidative damage and can trigger premature graying even when nutrient intake is sufficient. The connection is subtle. Hair does not instantly turn gray, but follicles under constant stress lose efficiency and melanin production gradually declines. Hydration and scalp health. The final hidden factor often overlooked is hydration. Hair follicles are living structures embedded in skin, and their efficiency depends on proper hydration and scalp circulation. Even mild dehydration reduces nutrient delivery and cellular activity, which indirectly affects pigment production. Scalp care is also critical. Healthy blood flow ensures vitamins and minerals reach the pigment cells consistently. Hydration can come from drinking water, eating water-rich foods, and avoiding chronic diuretics like excess caffeine or alcohol. Beyond water, gentle scalp stimulation, massage, and avoiding harsh chemicals support follicle longevity. Why this is about awareness, not fear. Gray hair itself is not a failure or a flaw. It is information. It reflects what has been happening internally long before the mirror noticed. Supporting hair pigment means supporting cellular health, nutrient balance, and protection from long-term stress. Not everyone will reverse graying, and that is not the point. The goal is understanding how the body communicates and responding early instead of ignoring the signal. If this helped you see gray hair in a new way, support the channel by liking the video so more people can learn from it. Subscribe for deeper explorations into how the body sends signals we often overlook. And share in the comments which nutrient surprised you the most or what topic you want broken down next.